Hello there, everyone. Today we're discussing the cancellation of Easter from school. I appeared on Talk TV for a little bit with Julia Hartley-Brewer just to discuss about this news that has come about that a school has decided to cancel their Easter celebrations. So let's just first read their letter and then I'll play the segment that I was on. It was just cut very short, so I didn't get to say everything that I wanted to say, so we can cover a bit over here now. So the letter is from the head teacher, Stephanie Mander, of her school, which is the Norwood Primary School in Eastleigh, in Hampshire. So, it's a primary school as well. I mean, Easter is fun for kids, God's sake. Anyways, the letter reads: Dear parents and carers, as we approach the spring season, I would like to inform you about an important update regarding our school's traditional Easter celebrations. After careful consideration and discussions with our school community, we have decided not to hold the Easter Bonnet Parade or the Easter service this year. This decision has been made in the spirit of inclusivity and respect for the diverse religious beliefs represented within our school community. Our school is committed to fostering an environment where every child feels valued and respected, regardless of their religious background. By not holding specific religious celebrations, we aim to create a more inclusive atmosphere that honors and respects the beliefs of all our children and their families. We understand that this change may be disappointing for some, especially those who have cherished these traditions over the years. However, we believe that this decision aligns with our values of inclusivity and respect for diversity. We are exploring alternative ways to celebrate the season in future years that will be inclusive of all children and reflect the rich cultural diversity of our community. One of the ways we will be celebrating inclusivity is by taking part in Refugee Week, which occurs in June, as well as beginning our journey to become an accredited school of sanctuary. Watch this space. In the meantime, we look forward to seeing many of you at the music festival in a couple of weeks. We appreciate your understanding and support as we make this transition. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact the school. Thank you for your continued support. So let's play the very short clip that I was on Talk TV.
Let's come back to that school, that primary school, Norwood Primary School in Eastleigh in Hampshire, which sent a letter to parents and carers informing them that their Easter Bonnet Parade and their Easter service will not be held this year. But don't worry, instead of that, in June they will be marking Refugee Week. Of course they will. The head teacher of Norwood Primary School, Stephanie Mander, said she was doing this to respect diversity and to create a more inclusive atmosphere. But how does banning a national public festival, effectively a celebration of we are a constitutionally Christian country, how does that promote respect for diversity? Let's talk to Momus Najmi, who's a writer and commentator and joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm an atheist. I don't follow the Christian faith, but I do live in a country which is constitutionally Christian and brought up with those festivals. We mark Easter, we mark Christmas because they're national public holidays. Shouldn't schools mark those and celebrate those?
It's very funny to see about this school as well. Sorry about my camera, I keep going off.
Don't worry.
Yeah, it's very funny to see about the school as well because I saw the report that Ofsted rated the school good in all categories except for the most important category of for outcomes for children and learners.
So it's the only one that really matters to most parents. Oh, so they've got a great bullying policy, a great diversity policy. But I've looked at their results and well below average. I mean, the one thing this teacher I think she's quite a new head teacher at school, but one thing they're not focusing on is getting their kids some good exam results.
Exactly. And what they thought was not how to improve that, but we will have more of the things that are not helping kids. We'll have the Refugee Week in June, and we will work, as she said, working to become a school of sanctuary.
What?
Sanctuary for what? This is what she
Should be a
wants.
sanctuary for people who want to learn.
Exactly, exactly. So, I mean, when it comes to Easter and those things as well, like Christianity is the most inclusive religion out of all the religions that are even within Britain, right? So she wouldn't be canceling anything to do with Islam or anything
No.
if it was an Islamic school or something like that, which is the most exclusionary religion, which wants to take over other religions, right? So it is a bizarre thing, and it's not like you said. It's you can be an atheist and stuff, but you
Yeah.
can recognize that the cultural values of this country are Christian based.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, I believe, I mean, you were raised as a Muslim, a follower of
Yeah.
Islam, but you've rejected that religion. Again, in many
Mm.
countries, you'd be punished with that, with death, as opposed
Mhm.
to being able to talk about it openly. But this is the thing: you don't have to be a follower of a particular religion to think, oh, let's mark it. Look, I've got to be honest with you. We just follow if any festival. If it's got chocolate or fireworks, I'm happy to play, basically. But the key thing is, the Easter and Christmas and other events in the Christian calendar, they are national public holidays in a nationally constitutionally Christian country, and they are part of our national tradition and our culture. And if you want to be inclusive, bringing people of all faiths and none into that national history and culture is the most inclusive thing you can do.
Exactly, but they don't actually want what they're saying, right? They don't want inclusivity, they don't want diversity and stuff. The whole idea is to break down British culture and values and British connection with the people so that they can pour in their own ideas.
But why is the head teacher doing this? Stephanie Mander, why is she doing this though?
It's the same reason why any of them, when they come, like any of the woke liberals or communist Marxist, when they come in any position of power, they will reenact their ideology. It's because they have been now given the opportunity, so they can do their part.
So for you, this is much more sinister. I mean, you might think, oh, with kids wandering around in an Easter bonnet and going to a service. That's not it. For you, this is much more sinister than that.
Yeah, it is much more sinister, and some people are doing it intentionally, and other people's like her might be doing it unintentionally.
Useful idiots, you might
Consciously.
say.
Yeah, exactly. Like she is a useful idiot because what is happening is the communists on one side, they're trying to break down the British values and or any connection with Britain so they can take over, while the Islamists on the other side are doing the same so they can take advantage of the breakdown of Britain. And then you have in the middle all these woke liberals, including this headmistress as well,
Yeah.
all these woke liberals who are so in need for their virtue signaling
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
recognized, then they're helping both those factions take
Yeah,
over.
but it's always fascinating how we always talk about we need to know about everyone's different belief systems. Yeah, fine. Teach me about Islam, teach me about Judaism, teach me about Buddhism. But at the end of the day, the one that they don't respect, the one they don't want to teach, is the one that is actually the national constitutional religion and the history of this country. Momus Najmi, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry it couldn't be for longer. Thank you for that.
Okay, so a lot of things that I didn't get time to actually talk about. Um, it's remarkable. It's actually very remarkable to understand that Ofsted rated the school as good in all categories except the main category which the school should be concerned about is was for the outcomes for children and learners, which was rated as requiring improvement in the most recent inspection in September 2024. Right, so this is another thing I actually want to really for people to really think, like, what are we rating these schools on? The main rating for the school should be on the outcomes for children and learners and the environment that they've been set in, which is enabling them to get those outcomes. So if everything that you're doing around the school is being rated on some sort of spreadsheet as doing good, but the results, the outcomes are still requiring improvement, that means all of those things that you're doing are unnecessary. You're wasting your time and energy on all those other things and not doing the one thing that you as a school are required to do. So, what do you do to address that? You say, oh, we have no religious affiliation, we'll be taking part in Refugee Week, we'll be having music festivals, and we'll be working to become a school of sanctuary. Wow. I mean, just wow. right? So I am sort of in favor of every school being able to make their own decisions of how they want to, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, but they have to produce the results. If the results are not there, then you will be criticized, and you should be criticized. Now, the additional point of canceling Easter, to add to that, is there's a, well, if you don't use it, you will lose it, as I've said many times before, right? If you don't want your churches to be sold off, to be turned into mosques, if you don't want your churches to just disappear from the communities, if you don't want Christianity to be muddled with this interfaith nonsense, and if you don't want external religions to take over, and for your own enemies within to destroy your culture and your religious harmony from within, then you have to participate in your own religion, right? Because if this were to be, let's say, if this were in an Islamic country, right? Let's take their example. And they used to have whatever function for Eid, and a school said, "Oh, we are canceling Eid because we want to be more inclusive to other people." Hey, that would never happen, because Islam is the most exclusive religion of all. It doesn't include anyone unless it can conquer them and convert them into their own, right? Otherwise, you pay jizya. So let's just imagine that happened. If that happened, then the parents would protest and would raise hell against the head teacher and demand that they bring back their religious traditions that are taught to children and celebrated as part of their community. Why that would happen in those Islamic countries? Over here, it's not happening. Why it is not happening? Is it because people think that they would be considered racist if they said, "Oh no, my culture and traditions and my religion matter"? Or is it because they have lost their religion to an extent where they don't care about any religion? Because it is actually important to note in all of this, because a lot of people are very furious about this, but not understanding this is what happens sort of a point when you lose your culture and your traditions. This is what happens. Because it's being done by your own people. It's not being done. There's no Islamic head teacher doing it. There's no, the school is not filled with foreign kids or anything like that. This is a very much of a native sort of a problem over here that is displaying. If you don't use it, you will lose it. And once you lose it, you will get the problems back for which the traditions were there in the first place, right? The traditions were put in the first place as solutions to problems that you have now forgotten, as once said by a famous person. I'm forgetting the name. So once we keep on doing this because we think, we're beyond the religious and spiritual need, we have evolved into something to be able to understand the reality of the world without the need of the divine, right? What happens next is that you start getting the problems back, and you start getting, even in this globalized world where you have involved other communities, other societies, other religions, or other ideological point of views into your own world, the alien views into your native world, they will take advantage. You will have even more problems. You will have a diverse set of problems. So if people are actually angry about this, we have to see, well, the parents have to be angry about it, right? And if the parents are not angry about it, then they're happy for that to be demolished, for there to be no Easter celebrations and stuff. We can't be angry on behalf of the parents whose kids are actually going over there. If they're happy about it, then see, this is what happens in all over England. This is going to happen. So the problem is very much cultural. The problem is very much, well, you have to participate In Christianity yourself, if you want to maintain those traditions, they don't get maintained by just being a cultural Christian, or like, just associating loosely with it. And I include myself into it. Like, I'm not a baptized Christian in that sense. But again, we are not talking about me. We're talking about the English culture and their traditions and their values that are being trampled upon. And I hate to see it. I hate to see it. Um, but this is what leads to it. And also, like I was saying before, important to note that they haven't cancelled all their things that they're doing around Easter. They have whatever they have in the background is still gonna run, like, how they have information for all other religions or whatever they have on their websites or whatever, wherever the school does it. They'll still have those celebrations. They're just not going to have the Easter service because it's related to the church, and Easter bonnet parade because, it's like that means, they have to do the celebrations for everyone, and they don't have the, probably don't have the budget for it. But again, you are sacrificing your own culture for the benefit of others. See, and this is what I was pointing out in that video before. So this is the message that I was trying to give is, there's a fight right now for the Western ideals, for the Western world going on. On one hand are the communists, and on the other hand are Islamists, and most times they're working together. Right? They are there trying to destroy the Western way of life because they want to take hold. And all these things are important. The ethnicity of the majority of ethnicity of people is important. Breakdown for that to happen. The masculinity of men is a big thing. A breakdown need to happen for them to take advantage of the Western world. Religion is a huge part of it. Religion is a major part of it. And in the middle, we have these woke liberals who knowingly or unknowingly, but I think so mostly unknowingly, just trapped in that loop of their own need for virtue signaling and attention seeking, and seeking that end point of liberalism. They are opening the doors for both these bad faith actors to take over. And when they do take over, either one of them or both of them, or like whatever crisis comes after that, then they will realize, and it will be too late. And it's sort of these things are connected. These things are also connected with, like, how that a labor supporting trade union leader, teachers trade union leader, who's angry at labor for not being Marxist enough, said that, in a way, like he's not saying it actually, but that's why he's angry at labor for. But he's a labor supporting, all trade union members are like that. Take the examples of Mike Lynch as well. The same thing happened in that RMT or whatever it was, trade union. He wanted labor to be more whatever labor, Marxist labor. All of them are left wing to an extreme point. But this guy in the teachers trade union, Daniel Kibedi, who dresses up like he's still in, he who tries to appear like he's some sort of civil rights, advocate or fighter or something like that. Just trying to emulate Martin Luther King or something, like, in his mannerisms or something, which is kind of pathetic how he's doing. It's not authentic. But besides that, trying to pass the motion within their trade union, which has over 28,000 or whatever members, that and they would lobby these in the schools and stuff, that the kids should be taught that parties like Reform Party are extreme right wing, and their narratives are not welcome in a civilized society or whatever. This is problematic. This is bringing politics into school. But these all things are linked. It is the same thought that from one end to the other end want to destroy the Western civilization so it can take over and model it to their ideology. But if you're not going to use it, we will lose it. Bear that in mind. Thank you for listening.